What's going on, guys? BSG bringing you another Grand Cross video. So in this video we're going to be going over the holy relics for deer and which units I think are and aren't worth getting with the free holy relic that we're going to be able to get when you log in for 2 weeks during the Frere update. So let's go ahead and let's just get started. But before we do, guys, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel on the road to 6K subscribers. So I would greatly appreciate it if you could help me out with that goal. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, it's free. But yeah, guys, let's go ahead and let's just get into it. So we got a free deer relic. Remember, they did this before with the big bird. We were able to pick a free holy relic a while back, but for this time it's deer. Now for the deer relics, there's not that many that I would say are worth going for. Actually, we got these kings right here. Who else uses the deer? Helram, Simon, I believe. I'm not sure Jillian, I don't think so, but no, Simon doesn't use deer, right? Simon uses does he use deer? No, he uses the deer, whatchamacallit, I don't know what this is called, like the rock. So he uses the deer rock thingy majigger. I'm not sure if Jillian does as well. I don't really focus too much on the SR ones. I think she uses, yeah, she uses the bird one. But yeah, there's not too many deer relics that I would say are actually like worth getting for. These Elizabeth ones, these are actually solid. I think that the Elizabeth, like the regular one, like the Princess Elizabeth ones and Elizabeth and Hawk, their holy relics are actually like pretty good. So what they do is they increase HP related stats, and you can do this on the back. This is a pretty decent holy relic overall, because remember, you can use this and the regeneration rate for your units are gonna go crazy, because Deanne has what, like 70 or 60 something percent regeneration. So it's actually pretty good. You can use it on the back for Original Demon 2 when you run where I think it's this one, the SR, yeah, the SR Liz. You can use this on the back, and remember, she heals 10% of max HP. So with her holy relic, you're going to be healing a lot of HP just passively. So her holy relic, I'd actually say, is not that bad. She does use the deer material, so do keep that in mind. She does use the deer material. Is she the latest unit to use it? I think so. I think so. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Goddess Elizabeth, her holy relic is booty cheeks. They did not want to make her any more toxic than she already is. She just, her holy relic is just so bad, man. It just increases her shield. Like, that's it. It literally just increases her shield by 15%. I don't even know like how you would calculate this, but whatever. It's not a good holy relic. Wouldn't recommend anybody going for that. Now, if you have blue golden wings, Elaine, like the spring version, not this shitty Christmas one, her holy relic is good too, right? Her holy relic is actually pretty nice, because what she does is she increases all enemies damage taken by 30% while they have the shock debuff. Obviously this was obviously made for the new Elaine, not this one, because she has no way to proc shock, actually, like just no way to proc it. But the other Elaine, the new one, she does. So if you have the new spring version of her holy relic wouldn't be bad if you're gonna run like a fairy team, but wouldn't recommend getting it. Just wouldn't really recommend it. Then we just keep going down, and like I said, there's not too many deer relics. I'm trying to think. Gahard, I wouldn't go for. Gahard basically has Athena's passive as a holy relic. So basically, you know, when you defeat a hero with her, you can use this on the back, which is really nice. But when you defeat an whatchamacallit, an enemy at the end of the ally's turn, they'll just get their aura split by 2. So that's nice, but it's not the best. Wouldn't go for hers. Now here's where we get to the interesting stuff. So the Goddess Clan has the best holy relics for the deer, the best. I think they clearly knew what they were doing when they made these relics for them, because each of these goddess or 4 archangels, I guess you could say 4 archangels, each of the 4 archangels has a very good holy relic. Like, they did phenomenal with it. I think out of them all, maybe the red Sarios might be a little bit underwhelming, but it's still decent, right? It's very decent. So start off with Ludo. Don't get Ludos unless you're really planning to work on Ludo, because you need everything maxed out on Ludociel in order for his Holy Relic to even like be relevant, because it doesn't do anything, it just increases his basic stats, which overall gives him a better combat class, right? So I wouldn't recommend getting his at all unless you're really thinking about going balls to the wall with getting all his cosmetics upgraded, you know, getting all his equipment upgraded to 15% with HP and defense. At this point, attack and defense is just not it. Like, you did not go attack and defense for him at all. But yeah, unless you're thinking about doing that, wouldn't recommend getting the Holy Relic. Like I said, it only increases his basic stats. Same thing as as the Roxy, right? She does the same thing, but yeah, just not the best. I do love his Holy Relic design though. It's really cool. But yeah, so then we'll get to Margaret. Again, they knew what they were doing with these Holy Relics. So we got Margaret here. Margaret basically has her buff skill, but as a Holy Relic. So for each ally of the 4 Archangels on the battlefield, so this does work very well in 4v4 that we have right now. Increases the hero's damage dealt to enemies by 5% and decreases the hero's damage taken by 5%. Again, for each ally of the 4 Archangels on the battlefield. So if you're in 4v4 and you know you have a full 4 Archangels team, what is that? That's 20% just alone from you. In 4v4, that's 20% alone just from you. And if you're facing someone else with the 4 Archangels, that's another 20%. So that's yeah, that's a pretty good Holy Relic for 4v4 when you're using the 4 Archangels team. So you could go for Ludos, like Margaret, right? You could go for it if you're planning to use her, but otherwise wouldn't recommend it. You know, I think you could get away without using a Holy Relic for Margaret for sure. Red Tarmiel is nice, but most people use him for a Link. That's the only thing, right? Most people use him for his Grace on Diane. No one really runs him unless you're really heavily invested in the 4 Archangels. No one runs him, but you could get it because it is a very nice counter to ult rushing. It is a very nice counter because it literally just disables ultimate moves for 2 turns, and you could do a lot in 2 turns. You could do a lot. So this is a really good contender for getting. I wouldn't blame you if you did, because it's a very good Holy Relic. Again, blocking ultimate moves is one of the strongest skills you could have in the game. Of course, unless someone can like remove the debuff, which, you know, there's a few like Margaret, who is it, Shuna. There's not really that many, I guess, that remove debuffs off the top of my head, but it's nice, right? It is nice to have because it's a really strong ability to block ultimate moves. Again, ult rushing, you counter it just from him existing alone. No one can really one-shot Tarmiel either because of his because of his Grace. So it's not like he can get one shot. I mean, maybe he could eventually, but not at the current state of the game. I don't think there's any unit in the game that could just straight up one-shot Tarmiel. So pretty good contender for getting, for sure. Blue Tarmiel, he's more of a stance type meta, I guess, right? But then you have this. It does work in the back, which is pretty good, but decreases allies damage taken by 20% when in a stance, and increases damage dealt by counters by 30. So he works very well with green Sario, which is weird, right? But he works very good with green Sario. Considering he came out with the red version, I thought they would have did something to like buff the red version with him, but I guess not. But yeah, that's pretty cool that he has a, you know, Holy Relic that works well with another 4 Angels. So you can see the synergy between this team, right? You can see the synergy. It's just a very good team to run. That's why a lot of people like it, because they all have something that helps each other, which I think is actually pretty cool. But yeah, increasing damage dealt by counters by 30%, and decreasing damage taken by 20. Keep in mind, if you run him, Green Sario, and Margaret, you're getting so much damage reduction. You're getting a lot of basic stats boost. You're just getting a lot of stuff, bro. Like, you're getting a lot of stuff. So let's go ahead and let's do the Green Sario. This is the unit that a lot of people are probably going to get, and I don't blame them. I actually think that Green Sario is a very, very good unit. I maybe underestimate how good he is, I'll be honest, right? But I think that his Holy Relic is pretty good, considering the fact that he's a counter unit, right? He, amongst anything else, he's a counter unit. So the fact that they gave him a Holy Relic that works well with his counters is very, very good. So when an enemy uses a skill on the hero, grants an effect that increases attack by 20% for 1 turn. So all they gotta do is hit him, right? All they gotta do is hit Sario and he gets that attack boost. When inflicting damage to an enemy using skills or counters, recovers HP by 15% of damage dealt. So again, remember, he increases his crit damage, which it only really works well with him. His passive increases allies crit for Angel's allies crit damage by 8% for each battlefield buff. So if you're running Margaret, because Margaret's pretty much the unit that you're going to I can't remember if this works with his stance though. I don't remember if it works with his stance, like if the stance buff count towards this, but either way, he's increasing his crit damage by 8%. And keep in mind, he has cleave AoE, so that's going to help him out. How much can he get up to? He can get up to 40% boost. So he's, well, I think I have equipment on him right now. Yeah, I have equipment on him right now. So he's gonna get a lot. He's gonna get a lot. So this Sario's gonna hit very, very hard with his cleave card for sure. Once you start building up his passive, his grace is good. Like, it's actually very, very strong. One of the best graces in the game. I think he has the second best grace in the game. I believe Tarmiel's is better, but you know, that's to be expected because he instantly recovers HP, but his is very good too, because decreasing crit chance and crit damage, that is powerful, man, especially within the meta that a lot of units depend on crit for big daddy damage. That's big, man. That is really, really big. If you're facing another Sario, like, this can cuck him as well, so keep that in mind, right? Zarya's really good, so a lot of people are going to go for his Holy Relic, which I think is a very smart idea. Honestly, I think it is a smart idea, but I would say you could go for any of these Goddess Clan member or the 4 Angels. I keep saying Goddess Clan, right? The 4 Angels Holy Relics, and you could be looking okay for sure. Red Sario, unfortunately, I don't think his is the best, but it can work. So whenever he does crit damage, he increases basic stats by 8%. So that's it. So he increases his own basic stats by 8% whenever he does a crit damage on an enemy using a skill. So he can be interesting, right? This Power Strike, I don't know if it'll crit as much as you're thinking, but this will, right? This will, because it's a sever skill. So as long as he keeps critting and increasing his basic stats, he should be all right. But again, like they could have did more with him, honestly. They could have, but again, he does, you know, do this, ignore crit defense, and then he increases Goddess allies basic stats by 20%. So you're looking at a 60% increase overall when just counting his Holy Relic and his passive. So keep that in mind. His basic stats can go up by a lot. I faced a Sario where he was almost fully built. I don't know if he was fully built up or almost fully built up. I couldn't kill him. Like, he was tanky. The only way I won was I forget, it was a while ago, but the only way I won, I think I had to go balls to the wall on the other units just to make sure that he wasn't you know, alive with the others. Alone, he's not too much of a threat, but with the others, like, his defense goes up so much. It's not even funny. But yeah, I believe that's pretty much it in terms of the deer units. I'm trying to think who else I have. No, not Yumungar. I forget who else all uses, because they use bird. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anyone else who actually uses bird, which is, or a deer. Lilia does for sure. Lilia's is pretty good. You can get hers, and hers is really solid. Debuff heavy, but if you use green Sario as a link, or Kyo, or someone who really takes advantage of debuffs and uses it to use it in their gameplay, she could be very, very nice. So hers is a really good contender as well. Christmas Lilia is still one of the strongest hitters in the game for sure, and she doesn't rely on crits. So Sario's grace, green Sario's grace, doesn't really affect her, which is pretty nice. I like that. I like that it doesn't affect her. I'm trying to think who else. Is that it? Yeah, but Lilia's Merlin's she uses the deer, I believe. Not Lolly Merlin. She uses the bird, but I think she uses deer. I believe she uses the deer. It's been a minute. But yeah, I believe she uses the deer. Don't get hers. Hers is not really that good. Anyone else? Fat King, Skinny Wings King. Small Wings King. I forgot about Small Wings King. Oh my god. Small Wings King is good. I forgot about his completely. Oh my god. Small Wings King has a good Holy Relic, but if you're not gonna use the fairy team, it's not worth going for. Wow, I can't believe I forgot Small Wings King, bro. Small Wings King, yeah, he uses the deer material. So if you want to get his, you definitely can. But that's about it. I'm gonna wrap up the video. Let me know which holy relics you're going for. Pretty much, like I said, everyone's gonna go for the 4 archangels, which I think is a really good idea, because I do want to get all of theirs before I even focus on anybody else that uses deer. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, you guys already know, I will see you all later.